This is my jam right here. Forrest Gump. I don't know why. I kinda wanna have sex with Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, you're my mind, boy. Running on my mind, boy.
I think so far ahead. I'll take bullshit if that's all you got. Working it, giving me tonight. Yeah, working it, giving me.
Hello everyone and welcome to Solshow. My name is Sol and today we are reviewing Frank Ocean's Channel Orange. And a lot of people consider this album a classic, but if you guys could, please do me a favor. If you have listened to this album and you like it, please give this video a thumbs up. However, if you're one of the people who don't like this album, please leave a thumbs down. That way I could see your guys' reaction to it. Yay, fun times. And if you guys don't know, I'm going through Frank Ocean's discography right now, reviewing each of his projects. And I already have my review for Nostalgia Ultra up, so if you want to watch that, then here's an annotation. Please, these are chronological. My opinions on that will also kind of go into this. I would recommend watching that video first. With all that aside, Channel Orange, let's jump into it. This is a big album that, before I jumped into it, a lot of people were telling me how good it was. Some people consider it one of the best R&B projects ever. Some people consider it a classic. Some people are just kind of lukewarm about it. I haven't seen that many people yet who despise this album or anything. But there's a lot of feedback for this album. And this album is what set Frank Ocean on the top as like a main event person. His artistry rose exponentially after this album. And to be frank, I like this album. And I knew I would like it the second I started the album because really the first thing you really hear is the sound of a PlayStation turning on. That is the sample. That is the first thing you hear. Oh my god, that's so cool. But before I progress, I want to say this is going to say a lot. I liked Nostalgia Ultra more than Channel Orange, but I'll get back to that. Anyway, and Frank Ocean, he's really big on concepts and really deep lyrics and storytelling within his songs. And this time around, there's even more going on in his music. And whereas Nostalgia Ultra, basically that had Frank, going through his record collection, and we basically heard what was happening as he was going through his record collection. This time around, we hear, these PlayStation sound effects, we hear flicking through channels, a lot of the tracks are named after TV shows, it seems to me, like Monks, Lost. And so I was like, okay, there's definitely a window with like a television set going into this. And it's like when he's flipping through these channels, it's like he's flipping through songs, and every song is like a new episode of a different show, and they're all giving really deep personal stories. And that's probably my favorite part about Frank Ocean's music is the storytelling and concept aspects to it. And I realized with Frank Ocean, every single one of his songs that I like, I go through the exact same pattern. I hear it a couple times, I get kind of used to the melody, I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. And then I really start to think about it, I start to think, oh, what is the concept here? And then you hear the song over and over again, and these little lines paint so much color into the story. And then every time you listen to the song, it like gets layers within the story, and there's so much more to the song itself. And it's nothing. When you started and it was just a catchy song about nothing, to now where it's like this really deep, impactful story with layers going on to it, it's completely different. And the concepts to these songs, man, they are crazy. We have Lost. That basically kind of describes a love relationship turning into this kind of weird drug mule relationship where, the woman was basically dealing drugs for him. We had Super Rich Kids with Earl Sweatshirt. That was an anthem for, the super rich kids who, grow up with parents who don't care and they just have tons of money. and they live the high life, but the high life is so empty, and there's nothing for them to really latch onto and say, hey, these are the people who care about me. They don't have any of that. And I thought that was a great way to paint that picture. Pilot Jones, that was about a first love, hence the name Pilot. You know, the pilot, like, as in, like, the first episode to a TV show. This is his first love. That's a double meaning right there. And on top of that, she also introduces him to drugs. So he's high in the clouds like a pilot. And he thought he was above this. He thought he was above drugs and doing this stuff. And again, he thought he was above it all like a pilot. There's so many meanings. Oh my god, it was just so clever. Good for you, Frank. And there's a lot more. Just to end fast, Crack Rock, that was like this complex song about drugs. Sierra Leone was this big teenage pregnancy thing. And let's not talk about pyramids. The 10-minute anthem, which makes a giant metaphor for Cleopatra being a woman who got around and used that to illustrate women and their decline in the modern world, and how they're losing dignity. And especially there's this part about black women being victimized into like sexism and racism, and oh, I need a glass of water. Oh yeah, if you put all the tracks into a pyramid, it starts with pyramid up here and start and end down here, and then it gives a whole new meaning. And it's just, there's so many concepts. I love all that. I love that kind of shit in my music. I love concepts. I love complex thinking. I love contextualization and tangible little piece of the story that you can latch onto. But here's the thing. On his mixtape, Nostalgia Ultra, which already did all of this, it just did it with better and catchier melodies. Everything was on a different scale. The songs weren't on high stakes like pyramids, and they weren't like these big anthems for any subject from super rich kids to teenage pregnancy. No, on that project there was songs like Novocaine, which is my favorite Frank Ocean song to date. And that was just about Frank Ocean getting high with a girl at a music festival and not really finding anybody as interesting as her after the fact. They were more personal, they were more identifiable, they were catchier, and they were all rap better. I appreciate what he's going for here. It's remarkable that he managed to fit all of this under the same roof. I just don't like it as much. This is still a really good album. Frank Ocean, the lyrics, the passion, it's all there. It's all really good. And Channel Orange and Nostalgia Ultra, they're ultimately like the same level for me. I just had those one or two tracks on Nostalgia Ultra that really just tipped the scale, and I love those tracks. There's no tracks on Channel Orange that I was just like, yes, I love this song and could play it all the time. I mean, because what song do I choose from this album to like really get behind and love? Do I choose the song that's just an instrumental from an Odd Future tape? Do I choose Pink Matter, which is just a song praising the almighty vagina, comparing it to Desire and Cotton Candy and Majin Buu? Okay, what? Majin Buu. This man made a DBZ reference in his R&B project comparing Majin Buu to a... Oh my god. Yeah, that actually happened. Frank, if you're gonna compare characters to vaginas, maybe not pick the one with the floppy penis attached to the back of his head. Just a thought. If I had to choose a favorite track from this album, I would probably choose Forrest Gump. The song about how much the singer loves Forrest Gump. Like, the guy, not the movie. Like, sexually, how much they like Forrest Gump. And I've heard people, try to dissect this song. They say it's, it's from the perspective of Jenny, or Jenny, as Forrest would say. Some people have said this is a clever way of Frank Ocean coming out, which, he already later just admitted that he was gay or bisexual or whatever he is. Either way, the song is just a catchy song. I don't really care the IRL aspects to it. It's a unique song, and again, it's catchy as hell. You run my mind, boy. Boy. And to close things off, Channel Orange, you know, I can see why it gets the praise that it gets. I kind of think it deserves it. I think these kind of concept albums, especially R&B concept albums, are something I can really get behind, and I support it all the way. I just don't think I personally find a lot of it as wonderful and amazing as everyone else does. But I still really, really like it, and I'm excited for Blonde. We finally get to Blonde. Can't wait. With all that being said, I give Channel Orange a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can check out my Patreon and support what I do, or you can check out my Twitter. And you can even check out my second channel where I just do the quick vids and the fun stuff and all that good stuff. I said stuff a lot. Anyway, with that, I leave you.
Working